How does a Videodrew and an orphan who plays a movie trivia game on the Sometimes end up with her own show? And now it is her show, and everyone's going to sing okay in the dark with Videodrew. It's live in the dark with Videodrew. And there's a million people that she has as best friends. It's mostly Tom, though. Hi, welcome to In the Dark with Videodrew. I am your host, Videodrew, also joined here by some other people. We have a very fun show to you tonight. Adam Witt's going to be here, also fan guest. And as always, we are joined by crowhost Daney and producer Sean. After the show, please stand by because we are going to have a very, 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 very special Zoom post-show call. Stick around for that. As always, donate to streamlabs.com Videodrew if you would like your thing to happen on the bottom screen. You see it. Also, subscribe the video because I'm going to forget to say that at other points. It's 4th of July still, probably. Roll tape. Sorry, that's just what a great bop that is. Real fun tune. Kind of gets in your head like an earworm. My favorite kind of worms. As always, like from before, here's my co-host, Daney.
Did somebody said earworms, mistress?
Hi. Happy holidays, Daney.
That is not a holiday here, mistress.
Where's that? In a tree somewhere?
Yes, probably.
Yes. So what do you know? If you guys don't know, in the audience, hello, by the way, everybody. I see you all. I'm just choosing not to respond. Hi, PLD and AJ and Mark. Somebody named Mark. Mark Turi. Hi, Mark Turi. Sup, homies. Hello. Hi, Ryan. I'm going to individually call you all now. There's Camp Franklin and Camp Shaft. That is very confusing and everything. So what do you know about this holiday that just happened here in the United States where you are not?
The only thing that I learned about the Independence Day was that you guys team up with a guy called Will Smith.
Yeah.
You guys kick the ass of the aliens out of this world.
Yes, that is true. Also, there was a musical about it over the weekend. Light on the aliens, but I think that's because they were working within the framework of a set on a play, so they couldn't have all the special effects. But we'll get into that. You know a little bit about wars with other creatures because you yourself are a bat that was recently made human, correct?
I wasn't a bat.
Oh my gosh, I did say, oh my gosh, I said bat. That's so offensive.
Yes.
That's so offensive because I believe correctly that you were at war with the bats.
Yes, we were.
Bat war.
Exactly. 1912.
It looks like our producer has something to say about that. That'd be Sean Berto said, I did some homework on this crow versus bat war. I am so sorry, by the way. That was very offensive. And Bird Boy was talking about, here's some pictures. Oh no. Yes. What comes to mind when you look at that?
Well, that reminds me, you can see the right in the right bottom. That's my Uncle Joe.
That's my head, actually.
No. Atop your head, mistress.
Oh, yeah.
That's Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe. What happened to Uncle Joe?
Uncle Joe lost his left wing during the Great Battle of the Trees of
The
Los
Great Battle of the
Angeles.
Trees.
Yes.
And sorry. Whoa. Now, is this just from another angle of the Battle of the Trees? Because what's funny is it does not look like there were any trees in this vicinity. Maybe in the back.
Yes, but there is a reason why. Because our crows, we flew very high, and then the bats come from them below. So the attack goes just like this.
Now, so that's interesting. So the crows start out high, and so they kind of dive bomb. Why do bats go so low? Why do they start out so low? Is it because they live in caves?
Really, here's the thing about bats.
That's not funny. I'm so sorry. This is offensive.
That's not funny. That's very tragic, mistress.
I know that's what happened to your Uncle Joe.
Yes.
This is actually a photo that somebody managed to capture right before Uncle Joe lost an arm in the Battle of the Trees?
I don't know where Sean got his photo. This photo is from the Time, the Crows Time magazine. You know, we have a Time magazine just for crows.
Oh yeah, well it's great, and what's different from your Time magazine, the Crow Time magazine, as opposed to our Time, is that you guys actually get speech bubbles. That's very helpful for people. You know, they can't translate the caw-caw noise.
No,
I know that's been a problem in the community. That people have problems with understanding Crow. But
here's the thing about this photo right here, mistress. This is Mary. You know, Mary, the singer of the Crow band of the 80s.
Yes, Mary Crow J. Blige.
Exactly, that one. She's mourning the loss of her son, Jimmy.
Jimmy the Crow.
Jimmy the Crow. He's lying there in the floor. She's mourning.
Well, you know is this actually the one that made the cover of a Crow Time, like in 1988? Is this like the famous one where they actually went back and they found Mary a couple years ago, and they actually just did like a, you know, like sort of a 7-Up reinvention where they talked to her about how her life's been since Jimmy died?
I think this photo is not from the Crow Times, but for the New Crow Times. You know, the New Crow Times.
Oh, right, the New Crow Times. I heard they folded recently, but that was just their wings.
Yes.
Great. So that's some photos from the Crow Bat War. That's something that we'll just be detailing every so often to make Danny really sad, I guess. But it makes sense because this is the 4th of July, and the 4th of July, as all us human people who are obviously here the whole time and live here and know everything about language and Earth politics get, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with 4th of July. There's loud noises, extremely loud noises. Then there's like a whole month leading up to the 4th of July where you just make the loudest noises, and it's like a grenade launching every 5 minutes outside your windows. And it's something to celebrate the time, I'm guessing, that Will Smith launched a grenade into an alien, like an alien that from somewhere else that's not here.
I thought the noise was to replicate the noise when the aliens died. You know,
I actually thought it was supposed to be that part of where they go, whoa, whoa, you know?
I think this is not a kind of aliens, to be honest with you, mistress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too. I also think that. Everyone, put up for America's favorite fighting Frenchman. And then it's Will Smith. Okay, let's just move forward. Movie news. We got some movie news to talk about. Let's go. Because there's so many movies coming out right now. It's hard to keep track. We're all just going to the theater. So many movies. Yeah, and we're gonna answer all your super chats and Streamlabs. And then obviously, I'm also reading every comment super carefully. So make sure you send in those super chats and Streamlabs so I can see them even more carefully.
I see all the comments as well.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget Will Smith punched out an alien, says Ryan Payne. I didn't. No one forgot that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You have to differentiate aliens. Like crows, like birds. You can't not say that crows like owls, that like pigeons. The same things go for aliens. They have
pigeons are gross
too.
Yes, and we'll get into that because a lot of aliens have different feelings. Aliens also mean more than one thing. Like they sometimes can mean like somebody from another place, and sometimes it just means somebody who's, you know, maybe just here for a little while and and here for like 8 more months, and then the experiment's over, and you get to go back home. So, hey, hi, Jake Yacovetta. Okay, Hamilton debuts on Disney Plus. Plus sign. Okay, so this is something, we did want to talk about. We did want to address this. This has a lot to do with 4th of July. Hamilton is he's money, but not a president. That's really confusing for people because presidents are usually money, and we use them for currency. But this time, this was not president. This was a rapper that helped. What did he do? How does something he did?
Rimmer.
Rap battles. He knew George Washington. He was best friends with George Washington. He was an alien, and he also fought against the alien that was from the movie. He was from that movie Frozen, the other alien, and he does this thing.
So you're basically saying that Justin Hamilton from Alabama raps against aliens, and then they do a dance with the president.
Never said anything about dancing. Never said anything about dancing. I don't know why you would assume that. No, what happens is what Justin and the aliens, the stage moves around, so it looks like they're dancing. They're just saying exactly still like this the whole time.
Okay,
and they're just saying, "Hi, my name is Justin Hamilton, and I'm here to say I will eat aliens every day." Rap battle. And then it breaks down. Disney really likes this for some reason, and they put it out. And so everyone with a plus sign next to their name gets to be the rapping, and they get to see it. And now what happens is, like my favorite kinds of worms, it gets in your ears, doesn't stop.
Can I eat those worms?
You can eat them.
Okay.
It eats our brains. It happens. And we'll get into this a little bit more with our guest, who I think is here to explain a little bit more about aliens. But we have a second topic about movie news. Also, this isn't really a movie. It's more of a thing. It's more of a thing that happened in real life, and it's a biography, and we filmed it. Someone filmed it.
That people do biographies of Justin Hamilton. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's fine. He's okay, I guess. UK to offer Hollywood exemption from quarantine rules. The what? UK, yuck. To offer Hollywood exemption from quarantine rules. So that means
that's very difficult to understand, Mister.
Hold on, repeat. Yuck to offer exemption from court. Oh, I see what this means. So you remember 2 weeks ago when we had on Tom, and we kept him in that I had him in that room with Crimson Tide or Crimson Peak, and there were no doors.
Yes, I remember him.
What quarantine rules are is basically that you're in that room, and that if you get an exemption, they switch out Crimson Tide for Crimson Peak, so you get a new movie. So the yuck is going to offer Hollywood the choice to replace the famous movie Crimson Tide, which is about war, with Crimson Peak, which is about having sex with a sibling. So that's pretty cool.
So in the end, Tom doesn't get his door. That's
Tom. No, there's no door exemption. That's a $50 Patreon tier, and it hasn't been created yet. Wait. Oh, yay! Look at this. Look, we got something here. Watch this. Oh, that donation, and it says, also Will Smith is good at Rubik's cubes. Okay. That sounds right. Look what I did.
Like a good guy.
You know what's really hard about Rubik's cubes is they're very, very sticky. So if you try to peel off the individual sticker parts and then put them all on the same side, you can do it, but they'll usually catch you at the tournament and throw you out. So I've heard.
So there is a tournament.
Yeah, there's a Rubik's Cube tournament. It's every year. We have it. We actually have it on the 5th of July, so it kind of gets overshadowed by the Justin Hamilton holiday.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's like the other aliens are like, talk like this, and they're like, do. Oh, you remember, blah blah blah, and they spit. They're like, peh, peh. Oh. And everyone loves them. They're like the favorite part of the holiday, even though the whole point of the holiday is that we hated Frozen. I don't know.
I hate the
Margaret,
Frozen as well.
Margaret Robbie to enter Pirates of the Caribbean universe. No, don't. Quick,
Don't
no.
do that.
Don't go through the door, Margaret.
Something.
So I didn't know. I've been looking for this door forever. Actually, it's like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas. There's like 7 trees. There's the Christmas tree, the Easter tree, the Hanukkah tree, the Pirates of the Caribbean tree, the Nightmare on Elm Street tree, and that one's actually just a door to a furnace room. And there is no Freddy Krueger because he's not real. So don't worry about it. He's not real. And then there's the 7th one, which I think is just let's call it the MCU. Technically, yeah, it's just the MCU door. So Margaret is going to enter that, which is weird because she already belonged in. Sorry, I forgot there was an 8th door. It was the DC door, and she's usually in that universe. I guess she's pulling a Nightmare Before Christmas, and she's going to go that door. You'd like it because Margaret's a bird too. She's a bird of prey.
She's a bird that prays.
Yeah, she prays a lot. She's very religious, which is why she's always hanging out, usually near the Hanukkah or Christmas door. So it's going to be very unusual to see her in the Captain Jack Sparrow door, which is literally just a sign, and it just says "Try hard," and that's how you know which door it is.
So many
Robbie.
doors.
Her name is Robbie. Says, "I blame gravity." She should be pretty good at pirating.
Ha! That's how I laugh, by the way.
Let's take a moment and remember this joke. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So now it's time where we talk more about this holiday that just happened, the really, really loud one. I don't know about you, but I think it's my favorite holiday because I love just the sound of loudness. It overtakes the sound of my own screams, which, of course, are significantly much louder than usually anything else around me. So it was nice for a whole day just to have, and for a whole month. And maybe for the whole year, just to have much louder noises happen. So now I'm always screaming. Let's bring on our first guest. You might know him as part of the movie guys, but I know him as a singular person who exists as an autonomous identity. That would be Mr. Adam Witt.
Hello.
Hi.
I am the singular autonomous entity known as Adam Witt.
Hi, Adam. Wait, real quick.
How is your autonomy?
It's great. It's autonomous. It's alive and well. And thank you, William, for that chat. It's real. It's not real. Sorry, that's Nightmare on Elm Street. It's good. You know, as somebody who also is part of a dynamic duo, or at one time was, I very much relate to the whole thing of you going out on your own, as you've been doing recently, and being on a lot of shows and being like, hey, you might know me as one half, but I am whole.
I'm all me.
All me.
There's so much me. Whenever I show up, there is so much me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I am independent. Perhaps this is a good day to celebrate this. I am independent of Paul Preston. I operate independently. And on this day, I am independent, as I am on Videodrew independently.
May I ask real quick what's going on behind you? What's that?
Oh, I watched Jaws for 24 hours on 4th of July. We're just wrapping up the last screening here. I started it late last night.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Jaws is the one about the teeth. The monster.
It is the one about the teeth monster. That's what you don't know. It's a teeth monster until Matt Hooper comes into it and tells everybody, "What you got here is you got yourself a teeth monster."
Oh, I know.
Richard Dreyfuss would be telling you.
A documentary about the heroic mayor who opened up the beaches and made sure that everyone could go to the beach at just the right time because, God forbid, someone couldn't go to the beach on the holidays. Correct?
Yes, it is time we celebrate when mayors and authority figures, despite there being danger, tell people to act otherwise. My favorite scene is when the mayor tells the people on the beach to take their masks off.
Yes.
There's lessons to be learned from movies, and what you don't want to be is to do the opposite of the mayor in Jaws and become a parody because everybody says, "Oh, we know that guy acted correctly." So you got to learn your lessons from movies.
Because the documentary Scream, that was a really cool movie too because it told you just what not to do, right? Like it told you
Well, the title of the movie tells you exactly what to do. I'm in favor of a movie title that just gets it out there. Here's what you do.
Yeah, it tells you exactly what to do. It's like, do that. And then it's like, don't do some other things. Don't ever say, like, goodbye. Don't ever have sex. And then also, there was like a third one. Don't bye-bye, man. Don't
buy the current PlayStation. A new one will be along the way. I think that's the fifth rule of Scream Club. Scream Club is the one with rules, right?
Yeah, the Scream Club. So I'm actually trying to think about this. It was don't have sex, don't say bye man's name into a marriage many times, and then don't be Skeet Ulrich. I believe the third one.
Don't discount Jamie Kennedy for basic comedy. I think that's one of them too, right? Because somebody does that and they're like, Jamie Kennedy, he's okay, and then boom, they're murdered. I think I remember that sequence of events.
What's funny is in the sequel they said do be Matthew Lillard, because for some reason at the end of the day you'll end up with the best career. Amazingly. It's amazing. But Matthew Lillard brings us to a really great topic that we wanted to ask you about.
Speaking of Matthew Lillard, I must say that 12 times a day.
Yeah, speaking of Matthew Lillard, one time he touched the back of my neck and said, "Is that an Eraserhead tattoo?" And I said yes, because it was. And then that was pretty cool. But we'll get into celebrity stories maybe a little bit later.
And you said, weren't you an SLC punk? Did you say that?
Well,
cool.
I said, "Oh my God, it's you, Stu."
Weren't you in Wing Commander? Is that what you said right after he did that?
Oh my God, Wing Commander, the movie that I always confuse for Starship Troopers, because I'm like, Gary Busey, Matthew Lillard. Nope.
They are the same thing.
I'll see any movie with a Busey in it. Anybody that knows me knows that's the facts.
Oh, is Freddie Prinze Jr. in that movie, or am I mistaken?
Freddie Prinze Sr., weirdly.
Oh, weird. That is weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Like
I think they're around the same age. So we want to ask you about something that you did recently. We know you're involved with that show. Sometimes people let Videodrew on, usually when she's with Tom, but sometimes by herself, like one time.
Okay.
It's
copyrighted, so we can't say it. We just have to refer to it, right?
Yeah, it's called Mystery Science Schmoedown 3000.
Yeah, movies, have fun movies, things you didn't know about movies, the contest. I mean, that's the long title, but you're right. We call it that.
It's the production title.
Really, yeah, that's a working title. Is having fun really a part of that show that we do? Maybe.
Having fun movie trivia time. I think that's what they call it in Japan. It's all over the world now. What's
funny is one of the first rules though is to take it very, very seriously and to never have fun. But we want to ask you a little bit about a tournament that you competed in recently, which is the documentary that I hold very near and dear to my heart. It's sort of the 7-Up of outer space, which is the second 7-Up, but not the last 7-Up reference you'll be hearing tonight. That's a fictional story.
It's a 7-Up reference.
Yeah, it's Star Wars.
It's a 7-Up is a long-running sequel. There's a ton of sequels to that, just like in Star Wars, based on the popularity of the original 7-Up. So I'm a fan of anything there's 8 of. Yeah, anything there's 9 of, I'll watch. So explain the Star Wars a little bit, because I know it has something to do with what we just witnessed yesterday, which again was not scary at all. It was fun. Everyone had a good time, and
everybody loved science.
Yeah, I was not hiding under a bed like a dog with one of those like comfort blankets that was pinning me really close. So that was really fun. So tell us a little bit about Star Wars and how we got here today.
So I'm a big fan of Star Wars episode of the stars, the episode of the Stars Wars, the Chronicles of the Stars that are in the wars. I mean, there's a lot of different titles for them. Obviously, there's a lot of colons in the openings, but yes, I'm a big fan of that documentary. I had never really, I didn't know that much about other galaxies, much less ones that were not as close to me, that were very far, and much less, maybe I know something about galaxies that are close to me, but only current time, not stuff that happened a while back or whatever. So
what did it feel like to get woke?
Oh, well, it feels great to get woke. I mean, there are so many bounty hunters I didn't know about, so many starships I didn't know about, and now I feel very woke that I know much more about those things and the plights of stormtroopers and Jedi and little green things. I didn't know that people came in so many colors until I saw the Star Wars episode For War.
For War. Yeah, that's the one. No, believe me, that's the one where the space spent the Gungans to another planet, and that's the one where they're like, "Happy 4th of July, mother effer," and then they punch them.
And then that is the contest of the punching contest of Life Day is to try. You have to kill somebody on Life Day. It's ironic, actually. But
why did they send Gungans? Why did they send Gungans? Like, out of all the ones, they're business people. Why Gungans?
Because everybody loves Gungans. Everybody can talk to a Gungan. It's very easy. They're great diplomats, and I think they're something we should all look up to. And I think if it wasn't for the Gungans, we wouldn't have these the episodes in the wars a while back. Over there.
Now, if I remember correctly, like most of the very, very first movie of the Star Wars, the documentary, actually was taped after the events of the Gungan Trade Analysis Federation, whatever. There they are. Causation without causation, something like that. So I actually believe they would have gotten along with Justin Hamilton, who, as we know, was one of the Imperial Senate, quote unquote, but like for just this small little place that we have.
He's the representative tiers of Gungans. Yeah. So he's basically Hamilton is like the representative tiers, right?
Right.
Who's in the Senate.
Explain what a representative tier is. That like a Patreon tier? Do you get like benefits with that?
That's how the Senate's run. In the whole Galactic Senate, it's run just like Patreon, and so it's set up in tiers, and actually representative tiers it tells everyone whether they've made it to the next level based on their love of Gungans and their antics.
You know what's funny to me is always that we really messed up. I think America really messed up when they sent Data to go deal with them, because Data's a robot, and we just let him grow his hair out and talk to.
He's an android, mistress.
I don't care. He's a machine.
He's an android. He's
also, funny enough, he's also my father. I wish I had done this earlier, but if we just want to bring up a picture of my father, we don't have one.
You're part computer, right?
Don't know.
You're part CRT monitor is what you are.
I don't know what my deal is, quite honestly. I'm still figuring it out. Probably.
Your technology is evolving. I mean, that's what I say about myself every birthday, right?
Gosh, I mean, that's what I
my mythology is evolving.
So just like the Gungans and their galactic credits and how interesting, just freaking interesting it is to deal with their taxation and trade issues and stuff. It is very interesting to watch people rapping about taxation and issue stuff. Now, I think the biggest difference.
That's one of the most popular parts of the Star Wars is the rapping.
Yeah, I mean, it is fascinating how much time they spend talking about intergalactic space stuff in terms of office politics. I mean, it's fascinating. It is riveting, and
so it's kind of exciting, you know. And I really don't think anybody's appreciated Star Wars until they can hear Jar Jar Binks rap "Rapper's Delight." It's very good.
Oh yeah,
very good.
I think maybe where the trade negotiations broke down when they got here was the fact that we don't just elect kings and queens to be part of the Senate. That's like a thing that they're just, if they're the Patreon tier goes local businessman, then it goes manager, then it goes Karen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually no, sorry, assistant manager is below Karen. So then there's Karen, then there goes senator, and
intergalactic Karen.
And an intergalactic Karen. And then there's king/president for life, and it's spelled with a 4, like the 4 Loko. So it's interesting to deal with a species where it's the opposite, and you're king or queen, but then there's then you have to get elected to Senate.
But you said the king is sponsored by 4 Loko, right? Yeah, so that's one of the ways to get up there. Obviously, it's like the Olympics. You have to have a sponsor, and then the king wears that all over, right? So the king has 4 Loko advertisements everywhere.
Correct.
So sounds like it's a more egalitarian society. It's a higher ideal, I think you're describing, than we could live on. Our planet in this galaxy, which is so close and so now.
Yes, very real.
The opposite.
Yeah. And as you said, it took place a long time ago, but time, but time is no longer a thing. We've abolished it. It is no longer a construct. It's no longer even a flat circle. We just got rid of it. We just erased it from the page like it was a tune. in that documentary, the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So we don't have to worry about time anymore. So technically, all time is
Who
now.
needs time?
We flattened the circle.
Yeah, we flattened the curve on time. That we managed to do correctly.
Yes, it is a circle, so the more you flatten it, then it just kind of curves back up. So yeah. So there's actually no winning. It's almost an infinity. You flatten
there's no losing either. Everything's just now, and it's happening immediately, and it's not scary at all. And can you explain why the loud noises?
Oh, why the loud noises? Well, once the Empire had been defeated, it was tradition for everybody all over the galaxy to put fireworks in the air, with their A-wing fighters over Endor, over Cloud City, everybody. And so that's what we do it here to celebrate the day that the second Death Star was blown up, which would be the very last circular orb that would threaten any of the galaxy. And we knew it. So we celebrated. Obviously, we can't take an X-wing up and do it, so we put it in the street and that sort of thing. But hey, it's a way to emulate that. It's how we celebrate.
And did the Death Star represent time? Because it was also circular in motion.
And very good. You're very good at symbolism.
Yeah, and also because it never goes away, even though we keep saying, no, it's done. We're done with it. It's gone. It's gone forever now. We don't have to worry about it. There's going to be no problems anymore with time. And then we just go on with our blinders on, pretending that thing doesn't need to wear a mask.
There it is. A circle within a circle. Look at that. A circle within a circle within a circle.
It's very symbolic.
Now tell me why Dennis Quaid's brother needed to hit just right in the middle there. What does that do if you just hit right in the middle?
Oh, if you press that button, that's what pops out, and that's where you keep your weed in there.
Yeah, because this. Oh yeah, I see. That's when that starts going away. That's because intergalactic cops are no bueno, which is a word I learned.
Cops, which was, of course, a lot of people, big fans will know, is the original name of Star Wars before they changed it to Episode the First a long time ago. And then also Will Smith was in Bad Cops, the movie Bad Space Cops. So we all. What you're looking at right here, this is now you can get a lot of, for the muffler on this thing, you can get a lot of different attachments. This is the one that goes blah, 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 makes all kinds of noise and stuff. It's pretty hip. It's it's like a glass pack. You can put glass packs on it and everything, make all kinds of noise. It's infinitely modifiable.
Yeah, we actually promoted that to President of the United States, so it's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's what we did. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I like these neon flashes.
This is where they're going to kill. They really hated the Akbars. Do you know an Akbar? Do you know any Akbars yourself? They really hated them.
No, you know what? I'm not going to answer that question. I believe it's a trap.
Of any rank?
Yeah. No.
Captain Akbar, Private Akbar. They hated them all. They hunted them down.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this is. Was it President Bill Packbar? Was that it?
Bill Packbar.
Yeah.
Yes. Wild Bill Packbar.
Yeah, he was great. I loved him while you were sleeping. Nope, that was the other one. That was Senator Packbar.
And I think you're confusing that with Indiana Independence Day.
Oh yeah.
It's a different holiday.
Game over.
They're very different.
Game over, man. Game over.
How is your Bloodlust and Vengeance going, by the way, Crow? I'm curious. Are you the undead? Have you meted out any vengeance this week?
Well, I got a better guess with you rather than that buffoon Tom. So my vengeance quest is a little bit chilling right now.
Are you more of a Pullman or Paxton kind of guy?
I'm more of a Pullman guy. I love him on Lost Highway.
Sorry, this is my favorite. It's the favorite phrase. It's what we scream into the sky every day when we wake up in the morning. Me and Margot Robbie both pray like birds. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
That was Admiral Pullman. Famously said that at the end of a long speech.
Now, producer Sean, I do want you to pull up one photo. It is of Stephen Grant, my father, who I believe is the director of Area 40, somewhere up there, like 49, 46 maybe. He's in the movie.
46.
He's also part machine sometimes, but I think in one movie he met whales, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not related to the Akbars or anything like that, but he comes from a different place where the birds sing a pretty song and there's always music in the air. Do we have a picture of him?
South.
Yeah. Oh, kinda.
It's bluebirds, by the way.
We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July. Wait, Adam, this sounds familiar. Didn't you once like just dominate a free for all with a question like this?
I believe yes, either myself or Paul Preston was able to say this entirely in a row. However, what's interesting is I don't know if you've seen the casting on this. They originally tried a lot of different actors.
Yeah.
This part, and this is the audition piece. My favorite, and I don't know if you have a clip here, but I can pretty much recite it myself, was when David Lynch himself actually auditioned for this part.
Oh, yeah.
We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interests. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom, not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. Yes, that's true. We are fighting for our right to live, I'll tell you what. Yes, Buster, to exist, and should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day the world declared in one voice. We will not go quietly into that night where mysterious things are inside closets. We will not vanish without a fight. We are going to live on, we're going to survive, and today we celebrate our blue velvet.
Justin Hamilton! This guy is Justin Hamilton, and there's a million things he didn't do, but he did Lynch. Yay! That was my favorite reading of anything that's ever happened in the whole entire lives, all of them. Oh my God, was that
all the times?
Maybe should we just end the show right now because that was as good as things are going to get. I think
we still have time.
The after show, Drew.
There is an after show, but we also have a very special guest who might know a little bit something about famous people and how they do line readings. Guys, I want to bring on, I believe this is Batman himself, but also goes by the name Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Just kidding. It's just regular Garth. Ooh, what's it say? Ryan Payne donated. Feel like I'm listening to the radio program. Yep, that one. Oh, hi. Yikes.
This looks like a guy that will sell no wine before it's time, I'll tell you that.
Can you just stay in that voice? It's really doing something for me.
It's actually hard to turn off at some point.
It's really awakening something in me. It's pretty great. So Garth, hi, what are you touching? This is question we ask all the guests.
This is my pet pajama.
Your pet?
Black Panther.
Oh, sort of like Videodrew's pet. Side up.
That's not me, by the way.
It talks a little bit better. You can hear that. So Garth, we invited you on this show not just because you are part of the Patreon tier that asked for that, which is something that we do allow. Please go to patreon.com/Videodrew and be able to be part of the show. Who cares? Some people. But because you're a really interesting person. You have shown up on many of our streams, mostly not to answer trivia questions, but to tell us tangentially related stories about how you know somebody who was involved in the making of said film. So I just wanted to go real quick and name a couple movies and see how you knew each people.
Okay.
Tell us about
let's start out easy. How do you know the Muppets from the Muppets Christmas Carol?
I don't know the Muppets personally, but I got to meet Brian Henson. Back in the 70s. You want to know more? Or?
Yeah, sorry, I froze. Go ahead.
Oh. Do you want to know more?
Yes, continue.
I want to know more.
Tell me.
Back in about 78, 79, he was a student at Phillips Academy Andover where my dad taught art and I worked in the AV department. And so my dad had him help the class build puppets one day and I got to sit in on it. And I was like 10 at the time and built puppets with Brian Henson.
Sorry, build puppets? What do you mean build puppets? Puppets like Adam.
They're not cracked from eggs or births. They're created. So
Oh, they're created. But well, then what gives them their agency and independent line of thought? Is that Danny is like so happening with Danny right now? Is that something that's shoved into them around their 13th birthday, like a bar mitzvah, or is that something they have to earn? Or when did they get the
Congratulations, you're a puppeteer.
Well, usually a deity like a
Russell
Jim
Tom.
Henson or a Frank Oz will grant them life.
Oh, right. Very famous phrase. You're the puppeteer of your own life now, dog.
Yeah. You don't need a hand, and they say you don't need my hand anymore. And
Yes.
give them
And then it's a ritual.
They
So-
became autonomous like Adam.
Like America, like Justin Hamilton. Like the Gungans,
So-
probably at some point.
Is it at that point that they have imbued the puppet with its own personality and they take their hand out and the puppet stays alive like in the Twilight Zone episodes?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Not only just like the Twilight Zone episode, but like the actual. I believe this is a real thing that happened in human world. But when Jim Henson passed, the Muppets had a special, and they became they were told about this. This is a true thing. You can look it up. On this
They
special,
said, we will now haunt your dreams. They weren't allowed while he was alive, right?
No. What they said was, wait, what? What do you mean who made us? And then Carol Burnett was on a video, and she's explaining to the puppets via video what Jim Henson was to them, and they're very confused. They were not yet woke. It was kind of like a Westworld situation. And then Carol Burnett, they're like, what's going on? And then Carol Burnett it's talking like Videodrew style. She starts talking to them. She's like, shut up and listen to me for a second. You're all puppets. You're all monkey puppets. And it seemed like for a moment it sunk in, but just like how it happens in real life, by the next day, they just were going along their life without that existential fear and dread.
Now, what happened when Carol Burnett's puppeteer died?
Oh my God. You don't want to know.
Sad.
Technically, I think, isn't Carol Burnett's puppeteer still alive? Or did that?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I believe so.
I've enjoyed her antics, but you could tell someone's operating the.
Oh yeah. I mean, no one gets that kind of comedy right without. No one's able to do Sondheim's "Not Getting Married Today" with the wind lung capacity of a normal human woman. The way
You gotta have a whole crew. You gotta have a whole crew to be that talented.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody. You gotta someone operating the eyeball functions. Someone operating the tear ducts. Those are the two main parts.
So realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then someone operating the mouth and the ears.
And fun fact, the puppeteer of Carol Burnett had the hardest time doing the ear tug.
Oh yeah, well that's it because her ears are supposed to twitch ever so slightly and engorge whenever she's dissatisfied with somebody. So technically, during her own comedy program, her own she liked the Muppets. If you don't know, because this is in the past, like Star Wars, she had her own programming channel where she had people do sketches and bits and sing. But whenever she was dissatisfied, her ears were supposed to engorge and get longer and redder. But the puppeteer, like you were saying, Garth, had a really hard time making the skin flesh do that. Now, how did you actually know Carol, Garth?
Carol Burnett, that's one I did not get to meet.
Huh. Okay, well, I guess moving on. Who's the favorite one that you have met of all the engorged non-puppets that are made of humans?
How many Entourage cast members have you met?
That's great. Great question.
And for both, how many engorged ones have you met?
Oh, wait. 2 for me.
I let's see. I think I met Jeremy Piven at a Boston comedy club once.
Oh, that seems like a place that you would love.
Him, so that one doesn't count.
So when you say met, you really mean the word saw.
Yes. I was in the proximity. I was within 20 feet of him, but never.
As long as you choke up on him and go, "And a pleasure to meet you," it counts.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you like to?
It counts. It counts.
Wait, I'm gonna. Even though this is not what the segment's for talking about the guests and learning about their lives, I am going to talk about the time that Videodrew saw Adrian Grenier at a party for Rockaware, the streetwear company owned by Jay-Z, and so she was stalking him around the party trying to get a quote, and she was stopped by somebody who said, "Would you like some champagne?" And she was like, "Sure." And they said, "Don't worry, I can hear some glasses coming." And she said, "What do you have, like supersonic dog hearing?" And he said, "No, I have good hearing. I'm a musician." And she said, "Yeah, everyone hears a musician." And then the champagne came and she walked away. And later on, she got in trouble because that was, in fact, Jay-Z. Just really, really bad. thing to do. Don't tell Jay-Z he has supersonic dog hearing, although you will get free champagne out of it. Now, you go.
Supersonic like bats.
Come back when you got a last name, Jay-Z. That's what I.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Not a hyphen. Not a hyphen. There's actually, it's a fun fact. There's a Village Voice article with a picture of a young Videodrew with blonde hair, and it says alcohol, and it's pointing one arrow in one direction, and it says party in the same direction, and then it says story, and it's pointing in the other direction. And she's facing the direction of the first two things because she so loves alcohol and did not recognize Jay-Z.
Who's
You hear all that, Garth?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered Garth's name. Do you have a second question for him?
Yeah. Okay. So, what's your favorite famous person that you either met inadvertently or on purpose?
Well, I'll go with the one I knew the best, which is Jay Leno.
Okay, what happened there?
Well, he lived and grew up in the same town I did. I went to school with his nephew Rich, and Rich lived with his grandparents, Jay's parents, at their house, and I went over, met Jay. We became good buddies. So every time he was in town to visit the family, we'd hang out, and I was a designated guy to go to the video store or restaurant so Jay wouldn't get swamped with autographs and all that.
Really? What would he order usually?
Well, we loved getting movies with Wings Hauser because he loved making fun of Wings Hauser.
Who's Wings Hauser? That sounds like something Adam would know.
Yes. Wings Hauser. He's one of Hollywood's most popular wings.
Yeah.
Did you ever get wings with Wings Hauser? That's like smoking a.
That's like the one that Steven Weber also is a popular Wings Hauser, right? Because that's where he was housed for many years.
The fact that you guys eat wings is very offensive, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry about that. If it makes you feel any better, they're usually buffalo wings.
Also, sorry to hear your wife got murdered right before you guys were going to get married. Now you have to, and they killed you, and you came back to life and have to spend the rest of your life trying to avenge her death. Also, sorry for that.
Oh my God, like that movie Spawn. I see what he
exactly. Very original.
We do like mentioning that movie a lot because the sequel actually happens to be competitor Jeff Snyder's favorite movie of all time. Now, whether that's a true fact or something I kind of remember him telling me once while working together.
Spawn City of Angels? Spawn City of Angels?
No, Spawn City of Angels. Yeah, exactly. It's Spawn City of Angels starring Nicolas Cage, and it's basically the plot of Ghost Rider, but they just they redid it with everyone looking goth and without Brandon Lee.
Now, Nicolas Cage one, I thought that was Spawn Port of Call, New Orleans.
Yes, that's true. That is Spawn Port of Call, New Orleans.
I believe now,
that's
right?
the one where he's like, the bees.
They're all good. They're all good.
But it didn't have Columbo, so it wasn't as good.
No,
sorry.
The one with Columbo is much better.
And I believe that's the one with Columbo is the one where the Columbo ate live maggots on set because he was trying to get real method with it, like pretty much like Cage does in all his movies, but also he was dressed as a scary small clown.
And I did meet Columbo too. He's an alumni of the Art Institute of Boston where I went to school, and he did painting exhibits. So
do you know what a weird crush young Videodrew had on Columbo? Not Columbo, but the man who played the Columbo in the movies.
Peter Falk.
Yeah, he had a fake eye.
I believe you're talking about actor Peter Falk.
Yeah,
I love that voice, Adam. Congratulations.
It's really good. It's really doing something for me. Yes, Peter Falk. He had a fake eye. He was in the movie Murder by Death. I never met him, but he was super cute. It's sort of like the weird period of time where Drew was into Jeffrey Rush after the movie Quills came out.
There was a time where America was into Jeffrey Rush as well for just a little while.
Co-Shine, pre-Pirates, America had a real thing for Jeffrey Rush. Did you ever meet Jeffrey Rush, Garth?
No.
Okay, moving on. What were the movies?
Who cares about the rest of your story?
Although as a kid, Rush was one of my favorite bands.
Oh, nice. That tracks.
Today's Tom Sawyer, he's high on you.
What were the movies, Garth, that Jay Leno's nephew... Well, first of all, how big was the grandparents' house? Like, would you say an approximate square feet? Small.
Yeah.
So Jay Leno didn't feel the need to buy his parents, like, a big home?
No, it was the same house he grew up in.
Okay. Did they trick it out? Like Pimp My Ride today?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, 2-story, only 2 bedrooms on the second floor.
Okay. And what movies were the favorite that they would make you rent, and then also like what would you actually want to rent if they weren't around and you just had the whole place to yourself and you were thinking about maybe just moving in because tenants' rights.
Well, I was never there solo. I never had the run of the house, but
solo.
they liked making fun of stuff. It wasn't just about watching a movie. It was about talking about actors and making. So he loved anything with Wingshauser, any sort of bad, low grade movies.
Oh, so it was the Mystery Science Schmoedown, kind of like that.
So you're saying Jay Leno has pedestrian tastes?
He does.
Headline.
Yeah, Jay Leno. Yeah, breaking news.
What is cool? What is
so
cool?
surprising. Jay Leno is mundane.
Yeah, boring guy like me. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. In fact, he's never. I have a pass for drinking, but he's never had a sip of alcohol in his life.
Oh,
that's sad.
Never. Wait, do you believe him? Does he just say that, or do you believe him?
I believe him.
Why?
Yeah. He just has no interest in drugs or alcohol. He's like, nope, not interested.
When you're born, most puppets get a chance between cars, alcohol and drugs, and sex. And you can have or Cars 2. That's true. Or Cars 2. You can actually pick between any of the Pixar films, but you can only pick 2 of the 3. So you can have sex.
He went with Cars and sex.
Yeah, he went with Cars and sex. Well, that's great. That's a great puppet move on his part. Guys,
that's a great choice.
That's a great choice. Danny, do you have any celebrity crow stories that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, the only celebrity crow story that I have is one, because we have our own version of Star Wars, It is when a crow that is a rock star doesn't like a crow that is a movie star. So they begin fighting, and then you have not the crow bat war, but the crow star war.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's also starring Natalie Portman, I believe.
Exactly.
Right?
The star of the Crow War. You mean Brandon Lee? Did Brandon Lee fight in the Crow Wars?
I believe you're thinking of Brendan Meyer. And that is who Nicolas Cage was referring to when he started saying, "Oh, the bees."
And
And the Crow Wars is the story, the animated story that takes place in between the Crow, City of Angels, and the Crow. Yes. Crow. I think the third one is called the Crow.
I think the Crow Wars is the
Crow. Be careful with that. There was a lot of contested debate about the acronym that was spelled after that final Crow movie. People,
the Crow Wars is the worst of the Star Wars movies, though.
Well, Rian Johnson would beg to differ.
Yes.
Yes, he hates his movie.
Well,
he very hates his movie.
He hates a lot of things. That's what we know about Rian Johnson. Hey, Adam, do you have any fun celebrity stories, or I have like 10 more before we get into our game?
Go ahead and give me one of your favorite celebrity stories, and I'll think of mine.
Okay, so I was supposed to be in The Last Jedi.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that was supposed to happen for my 30th birthday. Rian Johnson said if I could get out to London, he would make me an extra in The Last Jedi, because we were on Twitter friends. We were Twitter friends, and we played Words with Friends, which is how you know it's real connection. But we've just been talking about how much we like the movie Brick, because it's one of my dad's favorite movies. The guy who's Data/Area 49 director. So I was supposed to be in that. 3 days before I'm supposed to get flown out, they'd already done the measurements and the sizing. I get an email, like a very, very apologetic email, because Ryan was too nice of a guy and had allowed Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News to come on set and also be an extra. And this person thought it would be fun to just leak a bunch of information about the movie. So Disney clamped down. Anybody who was related to the field of journalism was no longer allowed on set. So I was 3 days out and then could not go and be in The Last Jedi. So that's a story.
That's sad, mistress.
That's what you get for pursuing your life's pursuit.
Yeah. I remember telling my grandmother I was going to be in Star Wars, and she died thinking that was true. So that's brilliant.
But you are still canon in the novel, mistress.
Am I still in the novel? Canon, yes. Me and Droopy McCool. That's how it happened. Was Droopy McCool was our link. I kept saying, Ryan, please put Droopy McCool in the movie. He's my favorite canonical character. Who he's the guy who's blowing the oboe. It looks like.
Were you playing Mrs. McCool?
I was going to possibly.
Sloopy McCool.
Sloopy McCool.
Yeah. Well, please, I go by my maiden name. That's me. I was a little heavier back then. I still
You had some work on your nose clearly as well.
Well, look, we don't like to talk about that. That happened around my bar mitzvah.
Is that a jizz blaster, right, Adam?
Can I ask you something?
Technically, yes, that is a jizz blaster. I think that was the 5-point question that that won the tournament this week.
Yes,
won the last round.
Is that also a Cartoid mic? Like, what is that? Is that an extension of the thing, or is that just like part of something you plug into a mixer? Got it. Pants but no shirt. That's
not a good look.
Not a good look.
He's in the Gucciverse.
Can I tell you?
He gets those at LL Bean.
He's in the Gucciverse, mister.
Adam
was in the Gucciverse as well last week.
I hate the droopy shame.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead,
but his name is Droopy.
Yeah. Can I be honest? Most upsetting part about Droopy, and I'm saying this with love as his ex, is the kneecaps. The kneecaps really bother me. There's something about them that implies a flexibility that I don't believe he has. Don't do that.
That's right. Go right. Get close in there.
Yeah. Oh, those knobby kneecaps.
Oh God. You know what? It's sort of got that sort of texture that one thinks of when they're thinking of
got a mean case of droopy toe.
Well, that's what I'm talking about in Gord.
McCool toe, I think they call it.
McCool toe.
Then a cool toe.
Now, I like how we assume his gender. We are calling. Oh God, he does have McCool toe. That is intense, McCool toe.
That's a big McCool toe.
Can I tell you something? Really glad that I didn't officially change my name. We never went down to City Hall. It was a good idea on my part. Pants but no shirt. Yeah. Robert Parker was here and was not here.
And he left Droopy.
Oh, let's talk for a second, because technically I think Robert Parker and I and you are all the same thing. We're all in the same thing.
Human beings?
Yes.
Definitely not.
Yes. We're all in the same faction on this Mystery Science Schmoedown thing. Now, that's a really cool thing, and I think what's underrated about our faction, besides the fact that we love hamburgers, I guess, and we have a great manager called Kaiser, is that we're very, very good at figuring out movies based on their posters. This is something that I think visually, I think we're all just very strong at. I believe that's why we were drafted in the order we were drafted in. So we're going to play a little game now, which is called, guess the plot of this movie thing based on the poster.
Although Robert didn't see the poster for Batman 66, unfortunately.
You know what? Neither did anyone who's playing it spectacular, so that's fine. Because Burgess Meredith, come on, people.
Oh,
Meredith.
Aren't all the characters in Batman either green or purple?
Oh man, this is
correct.
It's a burn notice, putting people on blast.
Batburn.
I don't know, Adam. It's quite the difference between maybe color blindness, maybe the difference between a hyperdrive and something that is an extension of a hyperdrive. It's so tiny and minuscule. Why even bother?
I've lost my hyperdrive. That's why I'm so calm tonight.
That's why you take the pills.
And I've got a bad motivator. I'm not good for anything.
Nice.
My motivator is shot.
My motivator is Kaiser, technically, I guess.
My motivator is my mistress.
Well, your motivator is losing your loved one and being killed on your wedding night.
That definitely not happen.
Like Uncle Jimmy. Okay, so this movie, let's guess the plot of it. Don't read the words. The words don't help. So actually I will read the words and try to give myself a leg up. So let's just all sit quietly for a second and think about the plot of this movie. It's about I think I'm getting it printed. It's got red on it.
All right.
Okay, I got it. But does someone else want to go first? I can go first. This is about the prettiest woman who gets to host all the shows. And so she's what she is really cool. She reads books and smokes cigarettes, and I don't know what she's lying on, but it seems to be the vacuum of space. So I believe pulp, a soft, moist. Yeah, so she's a soft, moist, shapeless mass of matter who then became the prettiest of all the girls. And this movie is called Pulp pulp, noun.
Pulp, pulp.
Pulp, pulp. Danny, you have a thought about what this is?
For me, this movie is about a girl who smokes moist smoke. Is a new thing about amongst the kids. But then her moist smoke became red, and now she's doing the pulp most smoke movie.
Whatever you just said sounded right. Adam?
Well, obviously, this movie is about a librarian, right?
Oh,
So,
probably.
I see a very lazy librarian who lays around contemplating suicide, and she herself is the unfinished paper. It's a bit of a symbol, actually. But this movie is called The Deadly Librarian. I've seen this before. It's The Deadly Librarian.
Oh, yes, that's
So
right.
it's a documentary.
They're all documentaries, Danny. Very few things in life are not documentaries to somebody.
Nothing could be truer than
Nothing
The
could be
Deadly
truer.
Librarian.
Garth, I'll let you go, but I will have to add that I forgot that it's also Pulp Pulp Bangs, which is because as somebody who recently got bangs, I do know that that's part of the title, Pulp Pulp Bangs. And then you gotta go bang.
The guns go bang, and she's got bang. It's
And Robert Downey
symbolism,
Jr.
folks. It's symbolism. It's too deep for you.
It's
symbolism.
all about
It's also what
filmmaking.
revived Robert Downey Jr.'s career. Some could argue. Pulp Pulp Bang Bang. Garth, what's your thoughts?
All right. Well, this is a woman who has moved into a new apartment, and she's waiting for her furniture. She's just lying on the floor.
Oh yeah,
And then the movers show up, and one of the movers wants a drink, and she offers him orange juice, and it's got a lot of pulp, and he likes a lot of pulp. So they bond and they fall in love.
And then is it true that that's the scene where he says a lot of words that he should not say because no one needs to say that. No one needed him to say that word that many times. Pulp.
Yeah.
Pulp. It puts a hard P on it, and you're like, really? Was that necessary? I know it won like the palm or whatever, but like, did you
never had the can jury see a movie debating over which type of orange juice they liked better than the movie Pulp?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people got real mad, as well they should, because you don't want to add that hard P. You don't want to just do it in the first place. Generally, just don't say pulp. But if you're going to do it, it's pulp. It's pulp.
And it was released in Europe as the hard P. That was the other name for this.
Oh, the hard P with cheese.
The hard P with cheese.
Yeah.
It was a very offensive title, by the way.
It was pulp.
It's Europe.
Big Show. Big Show. Oh God. You know what? I heard that this movie gave Samuel L. Jackson free reign to just be in everything from then on. Now we have another movie, I believe, another movie poster. Let's see. I don't know if Robert Parker's still in the chat, but Robert, did you get that, or did you think it was something involving like a Hobbit?
It's probably going to be in the tournament, Robert. Pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention. This is all going to be in the tournament, especially that last one, Pulp Pulp, Bang Bang.
Oh, I'm going to name this movie Charlie. Oh, is that the name this movie we're playing?
Yeah, Charlie. Why Charlie?
I just, you wanted me to name this movie. It just comes off as a Charlie to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
That's
Maybe an Earl.
A Charlie. No, I think you nailed it the first time, and there's no work that needs to be done. Next movie.
No second draft. That's the David Lynch promise.
Yeah, that's, can I be honest? No one else is even going to give this movie another title. Charlie's the answer. Moving on to the next one.
Nice to meet you, Charlie.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a mistake. That's an error in the copy because it's actually just Charlie.
Oh, those aren't the real Ghostbusters, huh?
No.
They're busted
like 3 people.
No, the real Ghostbusters had an ape and drove around solving mysteries.
It's kind of messed up they didn't include that one other guy. I know he came on late to the game, but there's another Ghostbuster. Right?
There is another Ghostbuster, but they had taken the photos earlier on before they had hired him. They said, let's take the group photo now. We're doing so good.
Right.
And they said, oh, we're overworking too much. We're going to have to add someone. But we've already taken the photos.
What's great is that it makes sense because as a documentary, that does sort of track because they were all sort of friendly with each other. And then there was just another guy who had a car, which is sounds like was the Garth of the group, if I'm hearing correctly.
The Garth of the group.
Yeah, the guy
That
who
seems
the guy with the car. You know. Next movie.
The designated driver.
Well, now I'm naming this movie Ernie.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm gonna name it Ernesta, and I think that a lot of people on the internet should get mad about it. It ruined their childhood.
How dare you, Drew?
Yeah, sorry,
America.
Let's see what we got here.
Fuck you.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Well, here we have clearly must be a sequel to The Mosquito Coast, correct?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's racist and also factually correct. I'm not sure if that's the actual title though. That's the one where a bunch of bugs came in. I think that also stars Jake Busey playing an electric violin. That man is there. There's Stephen Merchant down in the far left from Jojo Rabbit reprising his role. There is... Actually, I'm very confused because how is that person from the second... Okay, if we're just going from the right, the second person down on the right, how is he in the same thing as that person on the bottom left? Aren't those two different things? Or is this a franchise poster?
No, the woman on the lower right, she was in Animal House. So this may be a sequel to Animal House.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
Let's go back here for a second. It does seem like we're talking about two separate movies that might exist in the same universe if we're putting those people up. I'm just saying.
Well, okay, and the main person is from Witness. So I have a feeling there was an Animal House and Witness crossover.
Now, query whether this person, who I believe also was involved with the Star Wars Gungan battle, or at least something involving
With
the trade
Justin
federation.
Hamilton.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. So he actually became president after the last guy, David Lynch. At one point, he became president, and then him and another spaceman whose name is also Gary, not Busey, but I forget it right now. It's sort of like Ben Mendelsohn, but has half of his head shaved and hangs out with Bruce Willis a lot. They were fighting on an airplane. So I believe this movie is called Gary Busey, Force One.
Snakes on a Busey.
Snakes on a Busey. That sounds right. How about Ben Mendelsohn? Ben Mendelsohn, kind of. They're best friends.
But they call him Balash.
Who do you think is better friends, Gary Oldman and Ben Mendelsohn, or Ben Mendelsohn and Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads. He's more fun.
Mads.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, because they both starred in the Star Wars documentary, Rogue One, and there are a lot of really cute photos of them like touching each other and like be like, we would love to hang out with each other.
They are all wet because of the rain.
I saw all three of the Pusher movies, and they made me sad, Mikkelsen.
Oh my God! Do you know what my favorite thing about Mendelsohn is? When he goes, Worthbane. That in the show The Outsider, which was really not great. But mostly when he goes, Worthbane, in that other documentary. So do we have a title for this? Garth, do you have any ideas for suggestion for title?
Yes, actually, I've seen this one before. It's a musical documentary about the origins of Devo.
Yeah?
Before they got their iconic red caps, this was the caps they wore, and this was about creating songs like Whip It and making videos.
Yes.
Because they started as a doo-wop group, and they were all wearing fedoras, right? Yes, I remember this story.
Now query whether he loves snakes, why he hates snakes, but he loves things that are shaped like snakes. Why make that your weapon of choice?
He's a man of many contrasts.
I mean...
It's all symbolism, mistress.
God. You know who's really enjoying this right now? I bet is NerdChronic, who I've made watch a bunch of Twin Peaks clips out of order just because I've really needed to show him David Bowie in Fire Walk with Me. So he, as of today, understands that voice you're doing.
By the way, I would like to disagree with 4 of the words in the title of that movie.
Yeah. Which ones? Jones?
Which ones?
I believe I remember this movie being called Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
And not Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, they retconned it.
Indiana Jones and the shoring up of the video release theming.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, and I'm pretty sure that guy in the second right is from Temple of Doom. Am I crazy? I mean, besides the fact that I am crazy. Is that not the dude from Temple of Doom? All right, second one down.
It seems like it.
Isn't that him?
I think you're confusing it with Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
That is the Nazi gentleman.
That's his brain, by the way.
That's the Nazi gentleman. That's his nipple.
That's back when you could show nipple on a poster like that. It was a different time.
Batman, forever.
They did edit out the nipple.
That's Stephen Merchant as a Nazi.
Another one in the Gucciverse, by the way.
Snakes? I hate snakes, but I love whips, which are basically inanimate snakes when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. And you love Twizzlers.
Drew, what is your safe word?
Snakes. Yeah. Wait, what was that one time that we were talking about snakes? What happened? Was that with Tom? That we just couldn't. No, that was when we played the Kill Bill quiz. I was just naming different kinds of snakes.
Snakes? Why did it have to be snakes?
Why did it have to be Black Mamba? Okay, so this one. Whoa.
Whoa.
Now this is a very iconic picture. This is a really
The Honeymooners.
Now tell us a little bit more about that, Adam.
With Elliot.
Yeah. That seems correct.
Oh, to the moon, Alice.
At the time, I believe this was a very controversial film because it showed, the friendship or non-sexual relationship between a human and an alien that lived on a bicycle.
So that's a documentary, mistress, about kids during the July 4th, the Independence Day, with Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Justin Hamilton against the aliens. But that's a love story because this movie shows that humans and aliens and crows can live together.
Okay, question for the back of the class. Why could he make the thing fly but he couldn't fly? Why could he make the thing fly but he couldn't fly? Why could he make the thing fly and he could not fly himself? He couldn't levitate. Is this a Yoda thing?
Because he can only make things fly that were built by Huffy.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like in Child's Play. It's the factory got hit by lightning.
Is that what happened in Child's Play? Because I'm pretty sure the new one, it was Skynet. I'm pretty sure. And it starred a very famous Star Wars, subject matter, which was, again, Joker.
This movie is also about that time that the moon got really close to Earth and destroyed everything by changing the tides. Because look how close that moon is to Earth. We're all going to die. That's what that poster says to me.
It really is a Lars von Trier film waiting to happen.
So this is the sequel for Melancholia.
Mm-hmm. And there we go.
And I remember this much differently. The movie I remember this poster for was Jackass 3. Put Johnny Knoxville in a catapult and had him get on the bike and then launch.
You know what's funny about that?
Oh, I hope he gets hurt.
That short time about the Jackass people in the basket.
You know what's funny about that? I do remember that happening. I also remember it won like an Oscar, or maybe that was a later film. It won an Academy Award. It won an Academy Award for like special effects or best makeup or something, or something in this oeuvre. Fun fact,
costuming, I think.
It also is. It was part of, I believe, the Schindler's List universe. So that's the extended universe, in which aliens and other people are kept on a list somewhere, and it's about big government, and it's about mostly. I don't know where I'm going.
There's a lot of chat about this being perhaps Stanley Kubrick's video release of the moon landing. I have to tell you, I was very jealous. I told my agent when I heard that Kubrick got the moon landing gig, I told my agent I wanted to direct it. I had a lot of very different ideas for the moon landing. David Lynch's The Moon Landing was very different.
We haven't even discussed that you yourself, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Witt, were maybe tertiarily involved at one point with the Star Wars moon landing. And it would have looked very different. And Kyle MacLachlan would have had a paint box. The French taunter says, Danny, your crimes during the Back Pro World will not be forgotten.
Thank you, my
Hashtag
brother.
remember. What are you talking about? Danny, are you a war criminal?
Sometimes, in my free hours, mistress.
Why? Did he make Spawn 3?
It happens. Sometimes you slip up.
It was called Crow.
And
Crow.
Speaking
God,
of
I do not like
I want to apologize to Danny. Although I'm not a bat, I'm a vampire who turns into a bat, so I was kind of involved in the
Yeah, you're being very offensive.
I might have killed some crows here and there.
Garth, please answer me this. How come sometimes when people encounter creatures that they don't like, they become very phobic of them, and sometimes they encounter creatures they don't like and they adopt their mantle? Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's about facing your fears. So, say you hate elephants and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, oh God.
I do hate elephants.
Then you have an affinity for trunks. You like long trunks.
Yeah.
But it's
Droopy.
about facing your fears and owning up to like, okay, I fear that, so I'll get something similar, and then get used to that, and maybe I'll like that gentleman with the whip who hates the snakes. If he carries the whip around, maybe he'll get used to it.
Maybe the snakes will think that he himself is a snake, and then when he does it, they'll make the hissing noise. That makes sense.
They'll look at him and they'll go, "Oh, look, he's pals with that snake. He's cool."
Right. And that actually tracks because growing up, I had a great fear of other human beings. So it makes sense that I would adopt the mantle of a regular, normal human. And that's the symbol that we got the commissioner to put in the sky. It's just this.
Don't you all agree that we fear what we don't understand, which is why I think a lot of people fear the movies Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, and Inland Empire.
Well, I would say Blue Velvet is the most narratively structured of those. But yes, I think we all very much fear Elephant Man, which is, as Garth was saying, very scary. Because Droopy McCool doesn't need to be sharing the stage with John Hurt. It was William Hurt, one of the Hurt brothers, one of the Hurt Locker brothers.
Hurt Locker brothers, yes.
The reason I'm not scared, okay, that's called Et. That's French. It was a French film.
Jackson was such a fan of Elephant Man, he bought the skeleton. He was a big Lynch fan.
So you know what's great about
the Skeleton Man? That's even scarier.
Adam, this is Mr. Lynch. This is A+ material that
Am I helping?
Yeah, you're helping, and I was saving this video, downloading it, and keeping it just like offline in case the internet ever goes away. I would say that it makes sense that people fear what they don't understand, because I understood all of Mulholland Drive just immediately seeing it in the theaters, and then
as you were driving in.
Oh, I was trying to be confusing as shit in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, well, you can't win every time.
Sorry, you made a straight story. That does. That one's pretty narratively straightforward as well. Do we have another movie?
I mean, literally straightforward. He is on a tractor going straight forward. That I wanted to make that one literally and figuratively straightforward, and I'm glad it worked for you.
Remember how the website with the weather reports that you did? So every day for since Videodrew was in college, you've been coming out with weather reports where you will just be sitting in a room going, it's 85 degrees and sunny in Los Angeles. There's no clouds. The temperature.
There is a 90% chance of things exploding right outside my door tonight.
Yeah, and then you made the video with the quinoa, and if nobody's seen that, please, I urge you, I beg you, look up David Lynch quinoa. I beg you.
I've forgotten all about it. I may have to look that one up. I forgot even what I did in that one.
Okay, so you would just make quinoa for 17 minutes. It's in 2 parts.
And by the way, Videodrew definitely went to human college.
Human college. Yeah, it was called Oberlin. Never heard of it.
That's a very human college.
Yeah.
And speaking of Lynch in college, for art school, for postmodernism class, I had to do a essay about Lynch and the specifically the video he did of ants eating a corpse of an animal.
Yeah, that was actually a home movie, I believe.
It was very postmodern. Of course, I did it in 1975, so now it's not.
Yeah. Well, time.
It's just modern now.
No, it's just modern. Yes.
So I believe this is actually a poster from your movie. Not Star Wars. Never going to be Star Wars. Don't regret it. Never gonna happen. Jodorowsky's Dune.
Yes, this is from Jodorowsky's Flashlight Warriors.
Yeah.
Originally, Jodorowsky was going to do Flashlight Warriors, but later we got Joe Dante in the end. I produced the whole thing.
That's what Hurt pick.
I believe this is actually a poster for the remake that's coming out that everyone's very, very excited about.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe so, because that's definitely not Kyle MacLachlan, and that thing that he's holding, it doesn't seem to be a pain box. Although I do believe, much like the original, this is mostly going to be about spice trading and different kind of taxation.
Wow, that's so funny. It looks just like Mark Hamill. I'm surprised that you told me that it's actually someone different.
Well, you mean Mark Hamill from Skynet, from Chucky Skynet? Yeah.
And
From the Flash TV show. Yeah, Mark Hamill.
You mean Mark Hamill from What We Do in the Shadows? Mark Hamill, Vampire Mark Hamill.
Yeah, Mark Hamill, the trickster from the Flash. Mark Hamill. Yes.
Corvette Summer.
You mean
yes.
Brigsby Bear's Mark Hamill? Brigsby Bear's Mark Hamill?
Yeah, from Big Red 1. Big Red 1's Mark Hamill. Yes, that's what I said.
You mean the cameo for that time on The Simpsons where he was in a theater production of Star Wars? Mark Hamill?
Yes, the night the lights went out in Georgia. Mark Hamill. Yes.
The one who played Trickster on the Flash 1990s TV series.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that one, but let's just go in another direction with this and just say that time. Oh, fuck. Okay, sorry, I lost that one. Joker.
I like once again we get the man with the shirt open, sort of showing the pecs. And
yes, him
What's that game that goes first?
and Snake Man. Snake hated Snake Man. I believe
there
that's what.
Can you zoom in? Is there nip?
Is there nip? Great question. Yes, there seems to be a ton of nips. Unfortunately, this was.
His entire body's made of nips.
There's nips everywhere.
And I saw this when there was
cum gutter.
Just Star Wars, no episode 4, A New Hope, none of that.
Wait, Robert Adams is saying in the chat, this is Purple and Helmet Man. Robert Adams seeming to have the same problem as Rob Parker. Maybe they're the same person because that's very clearly blue. That's not purple. I can see how questions like that are really rigged against people who aren't good at color coding.
He is another Robert.
Aren't all the Star Wars helmets purple? I think he's right there.
Purple Trooper.
Purple Trooper. That's right. They fight purple troopers and beige troopers.
Yeah. So I think that we nailed it.
The pink troopers are the worst, by the way. They are very difficult to kill.
Now, do we have another one, Sean, or should I go into another?
Pro, how do you feel about dewbacks?
I don't like dewbacks. They are very hard and very tough.
God.
Oh, I know what this one is. I don't even have to say anything. I'll let you guys get it.
I think dewbacks is a very racist term.
V for Vendetta.
That's back when we could call him that.
V for Vendetta. He's without his mask on. This is the Polish interpretation of the poster because Polish movie posters are famously very, very different from our own. So this is Stanley Kubrick's V for Vendetta, and it's actually it's part of the movie that was cut from the American version where it's a crossover with The Color of Money. So he's playing pool a lot. Yeah. V for Vendetta, but also for being a pool shark.
They got the V upside down.
Because Polish.
Yes,
that's how they did it in Rome. That's a Roman V.
You know how many Polish people it takes to make a V? Nope.
A hilarious amount?
I don't know. I don't even know if I feel like much like the Schindler's List Elliot joke, this is not going to go anywhere.
How many Kubricks does it take to make a Clockwork Orange?
Oh God, at least amount of space. I don't know, but there should be a documentary about it. Better answer.
I like his eyes.
I was let down by this movie because there were no floating eyeballs on his sleeve when you actually watched this movie. It's a little disappointing.
Here's the thing about Malcolm McDowell.
I wanted random eyeballs.
Here's the thing about McDowell. They got his eye color wrong, and that's very hard to do considering how famously blue his eyes are. I mean, and it's on the poster. God damn it! I mean, it's on the poster. That's both his eyeballs.
Polish. It's Polish.
He's not Polish. He's American, and he puts on a lot of British accents sometimes. Also, very famously from Entourage.
They got his eyelashes right.
They got his eyelashes correct. They just got his eye color extremely wrong.
Well, 1 out of 2.
Is that Is that Malcolm McDowell, or is it that other guy who was in the stuff who looks kind of like Malcolm McDowell? You know who I'm talking about.
What,
yes.
Rodney McDowell?
Yeah. No, not Rodney McDowell. We were talking about him the other day. He looks just like Malcolm McDowell. Come on, this is great content.
Michael McDonald?
I was disappointed by this movie because it's called Clockwork Orange, but they drink milk, not orange juice.
It was called Pulp Milk.
Pulp.
Yeah, this is the one that I think famously ended with nope, that's not true. Yeah. Clockwork Pulp with a hard P.
The hard P for the Europeans.
Question, what is this poster even doing? Like, what's it trying to say here? At any point does he hold a shiv? Is that a thing? I don't believe he holds a shiv at any point in this film.
I think this is a dagger.
I don't think he holds a dagger at any point in this film. I think he has like a baton.
Nothing in this poster is in the movie.
I believe the statue is. The statue and the bowler hat.
Oh, that's right. That statue,
And
that's
the
the very first shot of the movie.
Yes.
And then the rest of this poster, I think the secret, Kubrick's all about subtext, like myself. And I think the big subtext here is the watermark. What does that say? Does that say premium upgrade? Do you have to pay for a premium upgrade?
No,
well, see, there's your subtitle right there.
Some fans say that if you actually look at that in a mirror backwards, what it's going to spell out is, I didn't actually think this one through. It's a little trick. I heard it took like 25 shots, cost $30 million, and they technically filmed it in an impossible room.
That must have been his the European title then. That must have been how it was released.
It absolutely was the European title. Much like most of the things in life these days. It was the titular European Clockwork Orange. Okay.
Robert Adams is correct. Robert Adams is correct. That is a dagger that is in his cane. So obviously we have showcased the most famous things in the entire movie. The statue you see in the very first shot and the time he pulls the dagger out of the cane and the eyeball ring. And that's, if you're going to talk Clockwork Orange, it's those three things.
Well, in the V
the
tunnel,
main things of the movie.
the V tunnel, we can't forget the V tunnel. It's the famous scene where they pry his eyeball open. Oh, that's what the eyeball is. It's the eyeball that's being pried open so he can look through the tunnel. I think it's a metaphor for cesarean section birth. I'm a little bit confused by this, but then again, I didn't live in the brain of Stanley.
It's all symbolism.
The rest of us.
I've never had enough money to eat in the cesarean section. How is it?
It tastes good.
A lot of crustaceans, a lot of seafood. So, guys, this is the part of the show where I'm gonna tell you a little bit about liking and subscribing to this channel, and also that Streamlabs is open, Twitch is open, but also the Patreon is open. And if you want to come on this show and talk about whatever, I mean, celebrities, Jay Leno,
Drew,
ours.
Before you go on, can I congratulate you on hour 27 of your show?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
It feels like that sometimes, but most of the time it's actually because time is irrelevant, and it's actually been going on forever.
An hour and 27 minutes into your show. Congratulations.
Feels longer. Gotta admit that. But if you guys want to see more of it, you can, because we are going to do a very special thing, which is we are going to go and have a post-show party in a Zoom channel. And I believe we have like a thing about that. Like we have the Zoom code. Let's see if we...
Something like that.
Am I frozen? I can't tell. If somebody starts dancing, I get very scared that I'm frozen.
No, you said post-show party.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Starting the post-show party.
We're going to start the post-show party. I'm going to make sure that the meeting is in the thing. We'll do that. Let's see what's going on. I can open it in the thing. That's not going to do anything, right? That's not going to do anything bad. Adelia, make sure this happens. Okay. Zoom. Here's the invite link. I'm copying an invitation. Copy meeting invitation. I'm going to copy and paste it. There we go. There's the Zoom meeting code. And then these are going to be open for the month of July. We're going to let everybody in. And then after that, we're not going to let everybody in.
What a wonderful value.
Yes. God, Adam. This is my God, Adam. Like my
You are welcome, Videodrew.
That's exactly where I was going with this. This has been another successful show. Garth, do you have one more celebrity story you'd like to tell us?
What name something in particular you're interested in?
Okay, let's see. Roger Rabbit, because Camshaft got Roger Rabbit himself to comment on our quiz or our video the other day. So
I don't have any connection to anyone in Roger Rabbit. No.
You're saying just use the meeting code. That's correct, Adelia. I messed up.
Okay, I have something a callback. When you mentioned you were almost in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I was almost in Wonder Woman, but I couldn't afford to go to London.
Why are they always in London?
You're friends of Patty Jenkins, by the way, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
technically, I'm friends with Sam Sheridan, her husband. I've met Patty like 5 times at dinners, but Sam I've known for over 20 years.
Who is the weirdest celebrity you ever met?
Did you sit in the cesarean section?
Yes, and the Caesar salads are quite good there.
Wonderful, right?
Wonderful. Well, how would you know, Adam?
I wouldn't. I've heard that's the only way to get a Caesar salad is in the cesarean section.
The
Sure.
B section. Who's the weirdest? I'll go first. Kevin Spacey. Really, really not cool. Like that man just stared right through me.
It was so surprising when he got in trouble for being a creep, huh?
Well, what's weird is I was like, this person is not registering me as a human being. Like, it's almost like we were doing an interview, and it was like I had never experienced anything like that. It just like looked right through me. And that was weird because during that period of my life, I was not translucent. That would be later. But yeah, definitely got very weird vibes from him. In terms of fun weird, that one time I hung out with Tarantino after Inglourious Basterds, and he could not stop screaming lines from the movie. Not Inglourious Basterds, sorry, Django Unchained. And he could not stop screaming lines from that movie that involved pulp, essentially, at his own after party.
With a hard P.
With a hard P. He was quoting his own film, but it was very, very uncomfortable. And Matthew Allard.
Maybe he had a urinary tract infection and he was having a hard pee.
That one he'd be drinking cranberry juice with very famously zero pulp. Zero pulp.
Zero pulp.
Yeah,
Like an
zero pulp.
orange club.
Which I believe was the thing. So Garth, any celebrity stories of times that they were nice or mean?
Well, you asked for weird celebrities, and a fun weird one is Amanda Palmer.
Ooh.
I've met Amanda Palmer and Neil Gaiman a few times because friends of mine know them, but the hardest thing is Amanda Palmer, because of Boston and the Dresden Dolls and all that. I've seen her at shows and all that. But Neil Gaiman, it's as a comics nerd who loves Sandman and stuff, it's hard for me to like not fanboy out and ask him a zillion questions.
This is based on the delirium, like when she's talking and there's all those fish and her hair turns into fish. And I met Neil Gaiman once, but before that we'd had an argument on Twitter about something, and he had pointed out that this looked nothing like the delirium, which it was based. And I interviewed him. I had to remind him that was in fact me from the internet. He was like exactly like Snape from Harry Potter. That's exactly who he was like in real life. He talked like that. He was like that. And then he told me during our interview that I needed to finish my breakfast because I wasn't eating enough. He was just like, finish that. And it was very intense. She's my favorite.
Yeah, Amanda is very unique and weird. And the two of them as a couple, like most of the parties, he's sitting quietly and people come up and talk to him. But she is like outgoing and wild and weird.
She liked my Instagram.
Socializing.
Yes.
Would it surprise you to know that Videodrew is a huge Amanda Palmer fan and apologist, like all the time Amanda Palmer apologist, and she's very cool, cool eyebrows, very cool person.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Dresden Dolls, and Coin Operated Boy was one of my favorite songs of theirs.
Which brings us to our next point, which is, I guess unless we have any more questions from the audience, do we ... And we're going to get to the wraparound, which is cool. It's a cool thing to say, where we talk about the things that we do that's outside of here. And then we go to the meeting, which I really, really want to go to, the post-show party, which is
We all want to
that
go
link.
to.
So do we have any other questions? If not, Garth, where can people find you?
Garth McMurray on Facebook and Twitter, and Garth_McMurray on Instagram, where you can see a lot of my comics art and other art.
So is this actually your dark place, or is that somewhere else?
This is part of my cave. I like to hang out in.
Garth's Dark Place actually is one of my favorite shows of all time, starring Matt Berry, who is now a vampire along with Mark Hamill. So this has really been a full circle. What about you, Danny? We're gonna do Adam last, so that's what you said. But where can people find you?
Well, you can find me living the rooftops of my mistress' house, counting the birds that wakes her 7 in the morning, but actually
4
it's
a.m.
only
These
it's
freaking
only
birds.
it's only midnight. Or you can find me in the Gucciverse. I think Adam was there a little while ago.
The Gucciverse is it's very funny. That's the ninth tree that I forgot to mention that Margot Robbie can go through. There's Christmas, Hanukkah, Easter, Gucciverse, Pirates of the Caribbean Land.
I would visit the Gucciverse, but I do not want to take my shirt off.
I would visit the Gucciverse, but I don't want to see anybody with their shirt off. So, just kidding. I totally do. And I want to get married to him. I guess that's still canon. So that's going to happen. Adam, when I said last, I meant last besides me. Where can people find you?
Before I answer, Garth, can you stroke the head of your pet there and tell me how you're going to kill me?
Then Danny does it too afterwards.
It's me that kill people.
I have a pit specially designed, filled with poisonous, venomous scorpions. I always get that.
That's terrible. That's worse than poisonous. They say nasty. They say nasty comments in Twitter before they kill me. My goodness.
They're the toxic kind of scorpions.
Toxic. Oh my gosh. And then say weird stuff about freedom that I don't even understand.
It's a cancel scorpion culture right now. Danny, now you go. Now you tell us how you're going to kill us.
Yes, I will kill all of you, my dears.
Yeah? Elaborate, please. I'll never see these traps like in time if you're just gonna say I'm gonna kill you and that's it.
Hey, here's the thing about killing someone, mistress. You need to build a little more suspense, a little more of seduction, because the person needs to feel comfortable that their life's going to end right there in the moment.
Yes, just out in time. Perfect. Adam, how are you going to kill us all / where can we find you?
Well, before I go, I just wanted to say what you say about his company is what you say about society.
I don't understand.
You could probably look me up on Twitter, I'm sure. And you could probably look up my antics on the Movie Guys Vimeo page, where we may or may not have narrated a sports commentary to an entire Star Wars movie. So if you like Paul Preston, that's where you go.
Oh, man. Can I just say what a pleasure. What a pleasure. A true pleasure. It has been having you on, Mr. Witt, Mr. Lynch / you know what I'm saying. This has gone in an unexpected direction tonight, but I will treasure this moment.
That's
forever.
what David Lynch does. He goes in an unexpected direction.
Yeah. It's almost like a Feifel kind of story. And thank you so much.
I love being impenetrable.
That's what she said.
And autonomous.
That's what she also said. Thank you so much to Garth for coming on board and joining us as we play games like Man or Muppet and all the other things that we did tonight. I wanted to say we have something very special for the outro that's going to happen, but I wanted to thank all our Wild at Heart patrons. Mr. Lynch would know a lot about them.
Yes.
That would be
I'm making my lunch.
Quinoa. Wild at Heart patrons, that's Aaron J, Nappy Head, Richard and Stephanie Begg, Rob Clark, Vernon Green, the Prince That Wasn't Promised, except to me, and Aaron J Lancaster. Thank you guys so much for being part of the Patreon at the highest tier currently, patreon.com/Videodrew. You can also find me at everything /Videodrew, like everything. Twitch.tv /Videodrew. Like that's clearly a thing. Friday nights we have video karaoke. It's super fun. Like when it works, it's really fun. That starts at 8 p.m. On Mondays and Thursdays, we have the VideoChronic Pop Culture Quiz right here on YouTube. On Tuesdays, we do Cinema Bias. That's Alex Mack, one of my other favorite co-hosts. And then Wednesday, after this documentary Star Wars match, we do Twitch movie watch-alongs. What are we going to pick this week? I don't know. It's going to be a bop. And then always, of course, here in the Dark with Videodrew, a show that is so natural and free-flowing that everyone is just dying to join. So, guys, if you didn't get the room meeting code, please, get it. And we will see you, I think, next week. Yes, we have a very special guest. Can I spoil it? No.
No, that guest.
Let's just say it's a very special guest who is a human. And then also, I believe a co-host. I mean, a crow-host.
That's a big clue.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to be a human being.
let me just say this. It's not a competitor. It's
It's not a
somebody
competitor.
else that's involved in that space of Mystery Science Theater.
It's not a competitive person, so it is someone who enjoys losing, you're saying.
Yeah, it's a loser.
A loser.
A loser.
He's definitely not a loser.
I think it was she. Also,
Or she.
this pro host knows what's going on. I also want to thank my mods.
Bro host.
Bro hosts. City of Angels, City of Angels. Thank you so much to my mods. That would be Sean Barreto. That would be Danny himself. That would be Steve DeGata / movie Fanobi. And that would be the amazing Adelia. So thank you guys so much. I think we're gonna head out. Roll credits.
Oh, say, can you see? By the dawn's early light,
That's
what so proud?